A pleasant day to you. Today I want to tell you about a simple but beautiful story called $1 Love Story, A Case of Serendipity, written by Grace D.C.D. Hart from Wits Arc Research. I have never been so amazed at the synchronicity of one's desire for love that the other person previously unknown to her was brought to reality by an unlikely thing. I'm happy to share with you the love story of Paul Gratchen, who has become my favorite contemporary writer. He posted it in mysterious ways on January 16, 2014, and I want to read it to you as simply as he wrote it. Paul said, How do you know when you've met the love of your life? I couldn't stop thinking about Esther. I laughed whenever we were together. My spirit soared at the sight of her. But we'd only been on a few dates. Was I really going to take her to dinner that weekend and ask her to be my girlfriend? I knew she liked me, but I was still nervous, he said. Paul went on to say, On my lunch break, I ran into a deli for a sandwich, pulling some bills that I had received as change earlier in the day from my wallet to pay for it. I glanced at them as I handed them to the cashier. Something was written on one of the dollars. I snatched it back and took a closer look. In pencil, right next to George Washington, was the word Esther. What were the chances? No way would I let go of that dollar. Heading back to the office, I had a funny idea. I ducked into a drugstore, bought a small frame, and put the box inside. I'll give it to Esther on Friday night, I thought, chuckling to myself. She'll get a kick out of this. Paul recalled at dinner Esther told me she'd love to be my girlfriend. While we basked in the glow of our new relationship status, I pushed a box wrapped in pretty paper across the table. I have a present for you. Oh, how sweet, Esther said. She tore off the paper and opened the box, held up the frame, and stared at it. It was the craziest thing, Paul said, telling her how he discovered it. She just kept staring at the dollar bill. Finally, Esther looked up at me, but not with a smile. She appeared shocked, confused, disturbed maybe. I couldn't tell. It definitely wasn't the reaction I was hoping for. I thought you'd laugh, Paul said. Isn't it wild? Esther wouldn't meet Paul's gaze. Remind me to tell you something later, she said, slipping the frame deal into her purse. She seemed so out of sorts, Paul didn't want to press her about it. It was a rare, awkward moment between them. A year later, Paul was ready for the next step. He hired a mariachi band to serenade Esther outside her window and asked her to marry him. She looked stunned for a moment, then shouted, Yes! Paul said, About 2 years after I had given her the dollar, we moved into a new apartment together. While unpacking, I came across the framed bill. I didn't even know that it kept it. Paul said, Hey, you never told me about this dollar, bringing it over to Esther. You acted strange when I gave it to you. This time as Esther took the frame, she smiled and said, I thought if I told you the story behind it, you would feel too pressured. After all, we'd only been on a few dates when you gave it to me. What do you mean, the story behind it? Paul asked. Esther said a few years before we met, I was working as a cashier at a coffee shop downtown, dating someone who just didn't feel right. I started thinking, how do you know when you've met the love of your life? Esther recalled, I got this naughty idea. I wrote my name on some dollar bills and gave them out when I had to make change. I said a prayer that somehow one would end up with the man I'd marry. Then Paul said, as it turned out, I'd hit the $1 jackpot. Now, from the time that Paul wrote that story in 2014, they have been married for 16 years. Now it's 2022 and they are already 24 years together. They have 3 great kids and still consider himself lucky to be married to the love of his life. What a beautiful love story. It is evident that finding true love is not science-based or even based on the qualifications you look for. Sometimes, there's this person who seems to be the complete package. Handsome or beautiful, educated, financially independent and capable, morally strong, but you could not quite pinpoint why you are not in love. So you still do not choose that person. It defies reason. In many cultures, marriages are arranged. It is not based on romance, but parents' choice, business, power and or based on religion. Yet the most remarkable love stories are those based on the choice of a man and a woman to be together. But sometimes the one we choose is not really the one who is right for us. Like Esther, we are prone to make bad choices that eventually hurt us. This is the reason why she prayed for guidance and left it to God or the universe to lead the right person to her. They say it is serendipity. And wow, if it is how to find true love, more people would not mind writing their names in $100 bills than be romance scammed for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Remember, serendipity is the occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. If it's not happy and beneficial, it's not serendipity. For us, finding true love is like finding peace of mind. But peace of mind is not freedom from hardships as a couple. The peace of mind that you must look for is that being with the person your instinct tells you will not abandon your love no matter what. If our story resonates with you, please like and subscribe. We shall publish more of this in the future and we also have varied stories available. Have a good day. Ciao! Please hear from us again.